Georgia law requires you to submit to state-administered chemical tests for the purpose of determining if you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Period of 1 year.
All right. Obtaining their driver's license is something that is a privilege, but also we have to realize if we misuse that privilege that is given to us, that automobile can become a weapon. That automobile can become a 4,000-pound bullet.
Sweetheart, I want you to stay still for me, okay?
So we have to drive responsibly, do the things that are proper, and try to arrive home safely.
Doing drugs and alcohol, it's just not worth it. When the smoke clears, it's still not worth it.
Okay, 9 heel-to-toe steps.
Follow it with your eyes and your eyes only.
Mary Nell Wood walks with her mom to the spot that changed her life and doesn't remember a thing. Not the wreck that killed a friend, not the 5 weeks she spent in a coma, fighting for her life.
I don't know anything except what I've been told.
Yeah, there you go. Keep your shoulder back.
What Mary Nell's told now is how to walk again. For nearly 3 years, she's taken baby steps to recovery.
Fingers.
Her left leg is still hard to control. Her left arm still shakes with strain.
That's good.
Okay, I'm about to drop this ball.
Mary Nell's hands can't hold a little red ball without shaking.
Watch your balance.
She has to concentrate just to make it up a single flight of stairs.
There you go.
All because of a stupid decision she made not to get out of a car of a friend who was drinking and driving.
But I didn't, and this is what I have to suffer.
See? You're bouncing on yourself.
But learning how to balance her life is the last thing Mary Nell thought about at the end of her junior year at Lakeview High in Gainesville. She had the looks of a model, the strength to play soccer, but she loved cheerleading the most. She was going to be captain of the Lakeview squad her senior year. She was at the center of every pep rally. Her date list seemed endless. Her future was one gift after another.
I was gonna major in business and be a little businesswoman, carrying the briefcase, wearing the business suit, carrying the cell phone, that kind of stuff. I mean, I had my life planned all out.
But on May 29th, 1999, Mary Nell's plans changed forever. It was her first date with 19-year-old Mike Sheehan. They were going to a party in Mike's midnight blue Acura Integra. Mike's best friend, Daniel Castaneda, was along for the ride in the back seat.
I was driving because Mike had drank like 2 or 3 beers earlier that day, and so I was driving.
Until Mary Nell pulled up next to a white Acura Integra just like Mike's. Both cars had nitrous oxide tanks on board. Both cars ran fast, so Mike and the other guy decided to race.
So Mike and I switched seats, and I was in the front passenger seat, and Mike was in the driver's seat. And we took off.
But the race up Dawsonville Highway did not last long.
Somewhere along here, probably the nitrous oxide switches were both activated.
Gainesville Police Sergeant Ron Cosgrove says the cars took off like rockets. The white Acura 1 stopped at a curve and started to turn around in the middle of the road.
And we were up to a speed about 80 or 75. And the other car made a U-turn to turn around.
Suddenly, Sheehan comes around the curve, sees the white car stopped.
And the 2 lanes converged into one, which Mike did not know how, the road went.
Sheehan tried to pass the white car, but couldn't hang on.
Now, what happens is he's going around, just like I'm going right now, and he's going actually almost sideways across the road.
So he lost control of the car. We spun across the road and back.
And as he comes this direction here, the only thing to stop him, his primary initial point of impact, was this tree right here.
The impact knocked Sheehan out of the car with a broken leg. Castaneda flew through the sunroof, the impact ripping his heart apart. He died just minutes away from his 19th birthday.
But still, the damage is not completely finished, because now the car, after striking the tree, now bounces off the tree in this direction, coming around, spinning totally around, and now coming to rest just like this.
Inside the twisted metal, Mary Nell laid unconscious after bashing her head around the car. No one was wearing seatbelts.
My brain would have bounced around inside of my skull like a tennis ball inside of a concrete block, just back and forth and back and forth, back and forth.
People tend to think that they're immortal, they're gonna live forever. It's not gonna happen to me. I'm gonna read about it in the paper, it's gonna happen to somebody else.
But it was not someone else for Mike Sheehan. He was sentenced to prison for the death of his best friend. And it was not someone else for Mary Nell Wood. The right side of her brain damaged so badly, life will never be the same again for her or her mom.
From the minute the child was born, she's never stopped moving and never stopped talking. And for the first time in her life, for 3 weeks, she did not move and did not talk.
Oh no, I had to point. I don't even remember this. Point to words or letters.
At that point, you kind of shut down and you're just sort of numb.
My hand was curled up in a fist and I couldn't get it down. I mean, I tried. It even was hard for people to pull it down.
But when you wake up from a coma, you don't do like you do on TV and just wake up and say, I want a hamburger. It was a very slow, long process.
My mother bathed me for a while, and I mean bathed, because I couldn't stand up in a shower. I lost 30, 40 pounds at first. I mean, I looked sickly. I had double vision in my left eye, and I still do sometimes. I had to wear a diaper for a while. Yeah, that was very embarrassing.
It really did not sink in how bad it was or exactly what all had really taken place until about a year later. At that point, they had told us pretty much what was going to be fixed was going to be fixed.
It takes the brain up to 9 years to heal. So we could have healing going on for up to 9 years.
You know, I was just upset at her because she had made a decision, and because of her decision, it has affected many lives.
Because it was my fault just as much as it was his, because I could have gotten out of the car and not gotten back in, and, you know, I made the choice to get back in, so it was my not smart decision. Hey, Megan, come here.
Mary Nell's going to college now, but time still moves slowly.
Look at the next one.
She still has a hard time concentrating, focusing on her lessons. The simple things her friends take for granted don't come easy for Mary Nell. Even writing is a chore. It's not the college life Mary Nell had planned, but the winds of life changed on that fatal May night.
I don't know how she survived.
No, thank you.
And Mary Nell still can't drive on her own.
What time are y'all leaving this afternoon?
I really have no clue.
Her mom has to drive her everywhere now. She's not the independent girl she once was.
I'm like, I have to be taken by Mom. I'm waiting for my mom. I just would give anything to drive, but I know that it's not safe for me or any of the other people on the road.
And Mary Nell would give anything to change what happened along this road not so long ago. But she can't go back. She can't tell Mike Sheehan not to drink and drive. She can't get out of the car and stay out. She can't bring Daniel Castaneda back to life. But Mary Nell can tell the story of what happened to her, and hopefully keeping it from happening to someone else.
Just think hard, think long, and think smart.
Think before you do anything. If every child would just stop and think of what the consequences might be.
Think of what could happen if I do this. Don't just live for the moment. Don't just live for the thrill, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And it took this tragic accident for a lot of people to realize that this could happen to me. It happened to her.
This can happen to you too. Believe me, I thought it would not ever, ever happen to me, anything like this. I thought I was just too cool and too great, and just thought, no, never to me. And it happened. And I just want to get the word out that, hey, it can happen to you too, even though you think it can't.